Apply too much speed at the Hoonigan Autocross, and it'll be a wake-up call. Overdosing on raw power will plow you through the cone gates, giving you a ton of time penalties. You need precision, handling, and speed to make your way through the cones to get the best time. Think finesse, not force.
Welcome to King Lizard's Game Lounge and my walkthrough for the 1975 Ford Bronco Autocross Showcase. Now this showcase becomes available when you open up the Evolution Series Championship within Forza Motorsport 7. So keeping it in first gear, this is quite a heavy vehicle and it actually manoeuvres best in first gear, but also because it's got such a quite spaced out ratio, if you like, in gears, you very rarely will find yourself getting into second gear during this challenge. Second gear pretty much isn't needed most of the time. So keeping it in first gear, I'm actually doing a combination of rolling around and accelerating. So a little bit of punch of the accelerator here and there, and then I'll roll through certain sections where there's big gaps between gates. Then I'll keep the speed on, obviously, and keep the car in momentum. But majority of the time getting through these gates, I'm actually using the car's momentum as it's already been gained in order to get through each of the gates. Now I'm going to roll her through here and this section here. So keeping it in first all the way. As you saw, I only managed to get into second gear back there just before the last section. And we're keeping it in first. Now obviously you don't want to get too much momentum in this Ford Bronco because it is an extremely heavy vehicle. So if you push too hard into one section and then you're finding you're going to have to brake hard, you're pretty much going to slide in most cases. So you really want to avoid that. You can roll through here 26-25 mile an hour. Not a lot, I know, but it's enough to get you through here without making a mess of things. So up to 35 there as we went through those gates. Keep punching it through. Nice couple of straight sections of gates here we can push through. Could change gear about there. I've actually deliberately left it in first, punched into second just as I got through those gates. And then we've got a bit of a zigzag here, so I dropped it back down, rolling through in the 30s here, 30 mile an hour. Up the hill. The hill's going to help slow us down a little bit, but it's actually quite a nasty little section, that hill bit there. And then we've got quite a lot of zigzagging coming up here. Going to keep it in first. Some sort of highly technical sections of gates. We can keep rolling through and accelerating. Here I'm just, bare minimal acceleration as I'm going up this hill, just so I keep the car moving. Obviously if you slow down too much, the car will become harder to turn, and you definitely don't want to hard turn into one of the gates when you're right near the end of the challenge as we are here. Now we've got 3 minutes 55 seconds to get through this. Currently I'm on 2 minutes 34 seconds. So I think at the moment this run's going to be about 3:50, so 5 seconds short of the time required to pass this showcase. So not too bad at the moment. So keep it going down the hill here, doing 40 odd mile an hour, quite reasonable speed for these gates. Allows me to turn, reasonable precision, nothing too heavy. Slow it down a little bit there. I was a little bit too heavy as I came down the hill, and then roll it through. Keep that momentum going. A little bit of a punch on the accelerator here and there. Through these gates, we can flat it out now. Get it in the second gear. There we go. And then we've got some nice fast sections. A couple of fast sections. And then we've got some more technical. So we want to drop it down into first. Roll it through these sections. Like so. It's quite a nasty section that. And now we can afford to give a little bit more acceleration. Back it off again. We've kind of got a diagonal group of gates, and then we're through the straight into second and over the finish. So I wouldn't say this is particularly easy. I personally find these a bit dull, these autocross events, because it's just kind of just driving through cones. Obviously there is skill involved, and obviously to get through these and get really good time is quite a technical thing to do. I'm personally not a great fan of them, so hopefully this walkthrough will help you get through this particular challenge. I was doing this challenge with no assists and also in manual gearing. I'm not using a clutch, but everything else assist wise is turned off when I did this particular challenge. So I had all the slideability of this vehicle, but to be honest, this vehicle actually is quite a good drive even with the assists off. I didn't have too many problems with it. the key to getting this showcase done easily is taking your time and using the car's momentum in first and second gear to get through these gates. You know, if you keep it in second gear to try and get through the gates, you'll drive slower in general, but also you'll make it harder for yourself to steer because the car will become heavier. Hence why I was using the first gear, because in first gear handling this Bronco is a lot lighter and a lot easier to do. From a view perspective, I obviously drove this in-car, and that is my preferred method of playing any driving game. However, for this challenge, I actually feel that that was the best mode or view to tackle the challenge, because you're nice and high up on the road and you can see everything in front of you. Obviously, bonnet view will also give you a good view of the cones. However, with bonnet view, you're a lot closer to the action and you get a lot less time to react than you do if you're in car. So for me, I found that in car was definitely the best way to tackle this. Chase view, I found that the car kind of got in the way of some of the cones, and it was just that little bit more difficult to judge where those cones were. So I actually got my best time internal in car on doing this particular autocross challenge. But as I said, it's, you know, it's just a key element is to keep the car's momentum moving. The minute this car slows down too much, it becomes very heavy and very unresponsive, and that can cause you to turn too early into a gate. So, you know, just keep that momentum ticking over, keep it in first gear, second gear for the long straight sections, and you should get this in the bag without too much hassle. Hope you enjoyed the video. If this was in any way helpful, please be kind enough to click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Take care, keep well, keep watching, and come back soon, and I'll be back with plenty more gaming action in the not too distant future.